So last session, GiveSignup session, before we get to grill Bob for an hour with all of your questions about GiveSignup, RunSignup, the endurance industry, whatever you want to know. But first, we're going to do one last presentation, and this is a presentation I did during our virtual symposium, and I really like the style of it. It's virtual case studies. So it's basically where I just look through some events that are happening on our platform, and I pick out a few examples that show different creative ways that customers are using our technology to engage with their participants and supporters and raise money. So we're going to divide up this session into two halves. So the first part of case studies is going to be about virtual events. So going virtual, and the second part will be about virtual challenges. We'll finish with some top tips from going virtual and virtual challenges. So the first section is focused on virtual races, virtual run, walk, rides. And this is the easiest way to raise money when you have to cancel an event that you traditionally hold every year or that you already had scheduled and had opened for registration this year. A virtual event is a single event, meaning that people are going to upload like a single time, or they're going to walk like a single 5K on a specific day. I think that virtual events like this work really, really well for an already established event because you have an opportunity to raise money because people like your nonprofit and they want to support you. They want to make sure that your organization survives. People are used to doing the event. You give them the continuity, and that continuity is also important, so they come back next year. We see these a lot around like special days like the 4th of July or turkey trots, and they are typically run, walk, ride events. So these are just the pros of going virtual. We've talked about it a lot. Kind of the two things I want to highlight are, one, our platform does let you do this on a $0 budget. So if you want to go virtual and offer a free virtual event and just test things out, there is no, sunk cost in it. The other thing is that virtual is here to stay. Even if it's not ideal, it's the reality. And a lot of nonprofits, a lot of races, they're all going virtual, but it's not a zero-sum game. People are going to do your event because they care about your organization. They want something fun to do. It's not too crowded of a market. You can always convert your event to virtual. There really is no downside to it. So just to start the brainstorming, I'm going to go through some creative examples of nonprofits that have gone virtual this year. And I am going to start with mine, the Scott Coffee Rotary Run. This is our hometown event. We did a series of webinars about converting this in-person event. It's the 36th year we've had this Rotary Run to a virtual race. This is an annual fundraiser for our local Rotary Club. It's their biggest fundraiser of the year. It didn't make any sense to cancel. People are so used to doing this. Last year, in 2019, we had 858 registrations. When we went virtual this year, we had 573 registrations. I will note that we did suspend marketing the week leading up to and through the virtual race week. That's typically when you want to like accelerate things. If you do have any marketing spend for like digital ads or something, that's kind of when you want to focus it. But that was when the protests against police violence were happening in our country, and it just didn't seem appropriate to be pushing a virtual race at that time. That being said, I think we were really happy with the participation that we got. The really big increase in this virtual race was with donations. So we actually had a 236% increase in donations from our 2019 event. With the donations, we did update the messaging to make it very COVID-19 specific and talk about how the funding was going to help our local community and people who were affected by COVID. So it was very specific and to the moment. And then the other thing to highlight is that nearly half of our registrations came directly from our email marketing. I used the free email marketing platform in GiveSignup, RunSignup to email past participants, as well as some custom lists from the Rotary Club. I think it just kind of emphasizes the point that email marketing works, sending out a message and letting people know that your event's open for registration, they can sign up. It does get direct results. So the next race is the Virtual Women's Distance Festival 5K. This is a race that one of our developers, Jonathan Farrell, works with. He was talking about that on a previous session today. But this one's interesting because they actually got a lot more registrations by going virtual than ever before. So you'll see in my notes, it said that they had 1,279 people sign up this year, which significantly increased their previous record of 1,100. They doubled their donations. And they actually were able to increase the net revenue from the event. And remember that the net revenue is going to be all of your registrations and your donations, but they're actually spending less money this year because they didn't have the added costs of, actually executing a race day experience. So their revenue increased significantly from the event. They had a wider range of where participants were located because of the virtual aspect of the event. And then the other really cool thing is they already had sponsors for the event. So this was one of the types of events where they had to shift to virtual while registration was already open. But they actually created new sponsorship opportunities from it. And Jonathan was able to secure a face mask sponsor. So they decided to give all their participants face masks and kind of asked around to sponsors if anyone wanted their logo on it. And, a local company wanted to be that. And so sponsors logo was on the face mask, but it kind of just shows a really creative way of engaging sponsors and making the best of a less than ideal situation. The Flippin' 5K was one of the early virtual events that we saw on our platform, and I really thought this one was interesting. It was a completely free event. So in 2019, it was like a $25 registration for an in-person 5K run walk event. And they had maybe like 150, 200 people who signed up. But by going virtual and making it a free event and targeting college gymnasts who had their NCAA seasons cut short, they ended up generating a huge buzz about this event, and they had over 6,000 people sign up. And it was really cool because there were all these Olympians that were signing up for the event and posting their virtual 5K times on the platform. They did a really great job of promoting this hashtag Flippin5K. You can look at it on your Instagram. They did have over 800 public Instagram posts with this hashtag, and even more of the Olympic gymnasts who I follow on Instagram were posting Instagram stories with this hashtag. So it was really cool to see this social media uptake, raising awareness about this organization, this nonprofit that provides funding to gymnasts. I also thought it was just nice, like it happened in mid-April. It was a really tough time as the pandemic was starting, and it just provided a really healthy and fun activity to engage and challenge the gymnasts who participated. This is another virtual event that had a lot more success as a virtual event as opposed to an in-person event. So their participation grew from 169 in 2019 to over 1,000 in 2020. They kept the registration fee the same at $25. And they actually shifted the event from being like, a one day, come in the morning to a physical location, run, walk a 5K, to this whole month-long engagement. So in addition to having their specific race on May 16th, they had a whole month of activities leading up to it. So they offered like online fitness classes to all of their participants. They had weekly challenges that they were running through their Facebook group, as well as like weekly themes. So people were very actively engaged in this whole training process that led up to the actual virtual event, where people were able to, go do their 5K and submit their times. In 2019, they used donations only on our platform. And this year, a wider circle switched to offering donations fundraising. And they also used our free Facebook fundraiser integration. And their donations grew from $2,000 to $39,000. Of the donations that were through fundraisers, over half of those donations did come from Facebook, just showing that, you know, using that free Facebook fundraiser integration can be really powerful and can help drive a lot more awareness of your event, a lot more awareness of your mission, and make your fundraisers more successful in meeting their fundraising goals. Virtual Dash for Donation is also a long time event. They've been on our platform for a long time. I was really happy to see that they created a virtual event. So this was their 21st annual race. And one of the things that I really liked is they tied all of their dates and pricing to their cause. So the number 8 represents the number of lives an organ donor can potentially save and heal when they donate their organs. And so everything from their registration fee to the number of days that participants had to complete the virtual race tied into that meaningful number for their nonprofit. I've seen several nonprofits use this sort of strategy, and I think it's very meaningful and, you know, can kind of make people feel more tied to the event and every aspect of it. I included this one because it's put on by a great nonprofit organization in the Richmond area, Sports Backers. And I think it's a good example of going virtual instead of canceling for these annual events on special days. Yes, I am trying to get all the nonprofits to go virtual for their turkey trot. But I mean, people are used to running your race, and it's kind of just a tradition. Like every 4th of July, of course, you're going to do a firecracker 5K or 4-miler. And of course, on Thanksgiving morning, you're going to go run a turkey trot. Or at least in the Bickle family, I guess that's what you have to do. But this one was pretty successful. They had over 1,000 participants sign up. It was a paid event. And they did offer a lot of exclusive swag for the event. So all the participants got swag, and then they also had different referral rewards to incentivize people to get their family and friends to sign up for the event and join them. But it's just kind of a nice example of using our cover pages to create a really nice branded website and, you know, going virtual for these special holiday occasions that your nonprofit puts events on for instead of canceling. All right, so now we're going to switch over to virtual challenge fundraising campaigns. I really like these because they're super creative. I think they're going to be used for a long time by nonprofits. Not a long time, forever. So the great things about virtual challenges are you can raise money now. Typically with a virtual challenge, you can charge a higher registration fee because it is an extended activity period. You are going to spend more time managing it. So you should expect to charge a higher registration fee, and that means you can make more money versus like a virtual race. We also typically see higher fundraising for challenges. It's more of a commitment that your fundraisers are making. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm doing a virtual 5K, donate to my fundraiser. It's like, oh, I'm committing to run 500 miles or committing to take, you know, 100,000 steps, whatever the challenge may be. And so there can be more take up around that fundraising component for a virtual challenge. Second, it's a really great way to engage your supporters. So one part is, you know, through just the gamification of a challenge, like the milestones, the badges, the notifications that you can set up and let automatically run throughout the challenge, give you a ton of opportunities to educate your supporters about your mission and what you're doing. So you can hopefully create some more engaged supporters from that. The second part is like people are going to your website typically on like a daily or every other couple days basis throughout the challenge period to log their activity. And so they're seeing that donate call to action, they're seeing the menu items, they're seeing the content on your website, and that lets you cross promote other activities that your nonprofit's doing. It lets you put in, you know, messaging about your nonprofit. You're going to be getting a lot more traffic on your website doing a challenge just because of the nature of submitting activities over a period of time. It's another great way to grow your contact and donor database. I think challenges lend themselves well to teams, groups, you know, getting your friends to participate in the challenge so you can beat them. Or, you know, friendly competition. And then the other thing to mention is that I do think virtual challenges have a ton of high returns, but they do take more time to set up and to manage, and provide support to the participants. We've made a ton of improvements in our challenge platform to lighten that load of support, just making it very user-friendly for people to submit their activities without even needing to log into the platform, things like that. But you will get questions. So if you don't have the bandwidth as a nonprofit right now, you may want to, consider doing a virtual race, something that's a little bit more lightweight, and then come back to a virtual challenge when you do have the bandwidth to invest in, setting up something creative. Let's see some creative examples of virtual challenges. So this one is a 100,000 step challenge that the Philadelphia Marathon put on as a fundraiser for American Association for Cancer Research. That's their beneficiary for the annual Philadelphia Marathon. So they were helping to fundraise for it. This was a free event. They had over 3,600 people sign up. And they had over 2,400 people who actually submitted their activity, which is pretty impressive. Obviously the goal of these things is to get the donations, the fundraising, but it's always nice to see that that high percentage of participants are engaged and actually want to participate in this activity that you're doing, particularly with a free event where they aren't even paying money to participate. It's really impressive that you can get that sort of high touch engagement with people. This one was cool because it's the number of steps rather than the number of miles, run or walk or something. So it's kind of a twist on an endurance challenge, just promoting fitness and a healthy lifestyle, but targeting a group that's not necessarily runners or cyclists or people who would typically participate in your charity 5K. I wanted to show the results page just so you could see what that looks like in a little bit more detail. You'll see here that instead of miles, it's tracking the number of steps, and people are showing their progress against that goal of 100,000 steps. And I did kind of click into these top ones, and they wrote comments like ran a marathon today. So they were getting a lot of steps from some very high mileage. But this was just a cool example of the flexibility of our challenge platform to accommodate any sort of challenge that you want to do. This one is a challenge by the Autism Society of Greater New Orleans. I love their use of our cover pages to create a really creative website. So they're using a header and then our participant mileage tracker kind of merged together with the same background color. They set a very ambitious goal to walk to the moon from September through the end of October. And I think this one really just demonstrates the power of these free websites and just how creative you can get with them and with your challenge concept. Again, they're doing donations and fundraising with the Facebook fundraiser integration, and they also are showing that split of half the fundraising dollars being processed through GiveSignup and half of them being processed through connected Facebook fundraisers. That's awesome because processing on Facebook is free. And so nonprofits that are using that integration are saving time because those amounts automatically get synced to the fundraiser pages. And they're also saving a lot of money from that free processing on Facebook. This one is a cleanup challenge. So the goal of the challenge is to collect the greatest number of pounds of trash. And it's supporting a cancer nonprofit with the goal of kind of making the world a little bit better by picking up some trash. They have a low registration fee of $10 with donations and required fundraising. So everyone gets a fundraising page, but there is no sort of fundraising minimum to participate. The challenge has not started yet, it's starting in September, but I put in a little bit of a screenshot here. Again, you can see they're using pounds collected, so people are going to be entering the number of pounds of trash that they collect. Again, it's just very cool to see people take our challenge platform and, make it their own, make it very creative, and, doing things that help improve the community is great to see. The Liberty Road Challenge is a challenge that's put on by one of our customers, the Crescent City Classic 10K down in New Orleans. And they partnered with the National World War II Museum, which is also located in New Orleans. I thought they did a really great job designing their cover page and offering different flexible options for both individual and teams. So giving people just flexible options for how much of a challenge they want to take on in terms of the mileage, whether they'd prefer to split it up with teams. I also like that it's tied so closely to the mission of the museum. The challenge is a mileage challenge, and it goes along the Liberty Road, which Allied troops took to liberate France and Belgium in 1944. So it's very meaningful and tied to the nonprofit's mission. They are using our live map tracking on the results pages, so you can actually follow in real time your journey along Liberty Road, making it a very fun and interactive sort of challenge for the participants. This is a triathlon virtual challenge that's focused on youth, and I wanted to pick this as an example because challenges work really well for engaging kids. So if your organization caters to youth, consider putting on a challenge. The nice thing about our platform is we're COPPA compliant. It's the Children's Online Privacy Act. Healthy Kids Running Series has worked with us for a lot of years, and they've given us really good input in how we can make our platform safe for kids. And so we follow all those different sorts of regulations. So as an example, when kids sign up for a challenge, we're going to be collecting the parent or guardian's contact information, and those kids' results are only going to show like their first name. It's not going to show any sort of contact information. So our challenge is great for youth events, and challenges are great for kids. It gives them something to, kind of be active about and do during this time. I like this one. It's traditionally a 2.53 mile triathlon. And obviously with the pandemic, not everyone can participate in a triathlon. And so they just changed it to a very open-ended challenge of do whatever you want to accomplish 2.53, whether that's playing hopscotch and jumping around or, going for a 2.53 mile walk. They made it very open-ended and flexible. And by putting on this challenge, instead of canceling the event, they've raised about $10,000. So I think it's great, shows how well challenges can engage youth, and it's just really creative. This one is for the Covering House 10,000 Mile Challenge. It's where participants can log miles any way they want. So it's very open-ended, and it appeals to any sort of athlete, regardless of what sport they're doing. So people can log miles from running, walking, biking, hiking, whatever they want to do. They're using our donation goal thermometer on their cover page. And one of the things that I like that they did is they updated it once they reached their goal. And I like this because it shows the power of having, a website that's connected to all of your data that makes like very easy to update. So all they have to do is go into the dashboard and replace the message of donate to help us reach our goal with thank you donors, we did it. So I really like that. You also have the flexibility, of course, to just increase that $50,000 goal to something higher and keep getting donations, but it's a cool use and shows the power of having a really easy to update website. I liked this event as well because they offered prizes and they were focused on the top fundraisers. They also had a prize for the best team name. So it wasn't just about who can do the most miles, like who's the best at competing, but it was also who's the best at supporting our nonprofit and who is having the most fun and creative. And they also have special youth divisions for all of their prizes for their challenge. So again, focus on getting youth engaged and having them participate in challenge events. Okay, so those were kind of some of the case studies. I like them because I think they do represent like a wide range of things that people are doing on our platform that are creative. And to wrap up this session, I'm going to go through some tips for all things virtual. So I kind of just took top 3 tips for different areas of going virtual for your event. So the first area is digital marketing. So the first point is use email marketing. Nonprofits have a great advantage for this because you guys have pretty good email lists of donors and people who have participated in your past events and your fundraisers. We've seen a very clear tie between sending an email and generating signups for your event. Obviously, don't send too many. You want to use it strategically, but at the same time, email marketing works. You can use our free email marketing platform. You can use any email marketing platform that you've already paid a subscription for. It doesn't really matter what you do, just use it as a way to get the word out about your event. Some other tips for email marketing are, use the automated emails that we have on our platform. For challenges and virtual events, I think just turning on incomplete registration emails as a best practice is a good idea. That will send an automated email to somebody if they've abandoned their cart while signing up, and you can customize the content of that email. The other nice thing is you can set up these automated drip campaigns in RunSignup, and you can schedule, emails to all of your participants with different fundraising tips, with different links to, where they can log their activities for a challenge, or just general information about your nonprofit. The second point is that we do see races being successful and nonprofits being successful with digital marketing through Facebook and Google Ads. We've been experimenting with it, like for Brian's Activity for Good race that he's been putting on. Some just pieces of advice around digital marketing is you can waste a lot of money on ads. So you're going to want to make sure you kind of schedule a budget. We have seen that like the week leading up to a virtual event and a week leading up to your challenge, as well as like right when it starts, is a key time to bump up your advertising. So you kind of want to keep that in mind with your budget. The other thing is you can build like more intelligent targeting by using custom audiences. So you can either target people who have done your events in the past, who have donated to you by using our CRM to create a custom audience, or you can upload one of our custom audiences into Facebook ads and create a lookalike audience from that. So kind of finding people that are similar to the people who have done your events and donated in the past. Kind of the second part of number 2 and number 3 are you just want to make sure you're looking at analytics around your marketing spend, as well as just the emails that you're sending out. Facebook and Google have really advanced analytics, and it can be a bit overwhelming. The nice thing about GiveSignup, RunSignup is we've kind of built Google Analytics into your event dashboards. So you can see how many registrations are coming in, you can see how many donations are coming in, and you can actually see the sources of it. And you can make that even more refined by setting up custom sources. And there are guides and information that we have linked on our Challenge Hub about how you can set all this up so that you are tracking and measuring things well. But the point is that you kind of want to be able to see how the money that you're spending on marketing and advertising is paying off and generating those signups and donations and website views. So always important to keep in mind when you're doing digital marketing. The other part of marketing is social marketing. And basically we think of social marketing as ways to kind of grow your funnel. So you have people that have participated in the past, like how do you get them to get their family and friends to participate so that you're getting a wider reach with for your events. So one of the most popular tools and most effective tools for social marketing is referral rewards. Referral rewards allow you to incentivize your participants to get their family and friends to participate. So your participants will get unique referral links, and you can encourage them to share with, their networks by saying, if you get 5 signups, you'll get a refund for your registration fee. If you get 10 signups, you'll get, a Zoom with one of our nonprofits beneficiaries. I know Amanda's talked about this a lot, but, having rewards that are specific to what your nonprofit does can work really well. You don't have to stick with a refund or like a swag reward. It can be more meaningful and more tied to your mission than that. Just make sure you're advertising that on your website and showing people like, you know, get your friends and family to join and we'll reward you for referring them to us. The second idea is with teams. We do have really great team features around virtual results and virtual challenges. You just want to figure out what type of team works best for you. For a lot of nonprofits, that may be fundraising teams and just featuring your top fundraising teams on your website and kind of offering a prize around the top fundraising team. You may also want to have more social or competitive teams. We have a lot of tools that you can kind of incentivize teams to grow. So for example, you can give discounts and refunds to teams that reach a certain size. For the Scott Coffee Rotary Run, one of the things that we do for teams, because we want to encourage people to get big teams and have more people sign up, is we give a pair of socks to everyone who gets more than 20 people on a team. And we continue to do that this year with our virtual event. We rewarded teams that had more than 20 members with running socks. So I think you can, you know, still use teams in a virtual event and, you know, incentivize people to make them bigger. And then the third is just, you know, promoting your cause. Your mission is why people want to participate in your event. So make it a focus of your content, make it a focus of your website, and people will want to sign up because of that. Top tips for your website. I think every event should create a cover page just because it's really cool. It offers a lot of flexibility. And I think it's really important for nonprofits to don't just have like a registration page or an event page, like have a website, have it be where your content is, have it be where your messaging is. Like we've talked about, people are going to your site to not only sign up, but to submit their results and upload their photos. So you have a lot of touch points with them. So put effort into creating a cover page. Our platform doesn't require you to be a developer to do that. All of our websites are mobile optimized, they're SEO optimized, they're easy to build with point and click template builders. So we take care of like the development stuff and you focus on, you know, the design and the messaging aspects of it. My second tip for websites is obviously Canva. I talk about this all the time, but it's such a great tool. My favorite part about it is when you go to create an image, you can specify the pixel size. All the places on our platform where you can upload images, they'll kind of show you what the recommended pixel size is, and you can just copy that into Canva. So if I have to upload a 300 by 300 picture for you know, a milestone badge, I can go to Canva and create an image that's specific to that size. The third thing is like we have very flexible URLs. So you can bring your domain or add a subdomain and bring it over to your event website for free. We provide the SSL certificate. You just have to map it to your domain. We also give you flexible default options with interchangeable URLs. So you can use GiveSignup.org or RunSignup.com for any website. If you already have a challenge event and you've been promoting it with RunSignup.com, you can just as easily promote it with GiveSignup.org as the URL. The other nice feature we have is the ability to create short URLs and to create multiple short URLs. I showed this on an earlier session today, but I included just a quick example from American Cancer Society's Determination Takes on the World Challenge. And typically we have a longer URL that includes like race and the state name. And those longer URLs work well when your event is physically taking place and it's in a physical location. But I do especially like the short URLs for social sharing, and I like them for virtual events where your geographic reach is much broader. These are my top tips for donations and fundraising. So the first is obviously turn on Facebook fundraiser integration. It's automatic, it's free, it's easy to enable. If you're planning to do a virtual challenge or virtual event and your nonprofit isn't approved for Facebook payments yet, start that process right away. I have absolutely zero power to accelerate or escalate any issues around, getting approved on Facebook payments. And my contacts at the fundraiser API also do not have a way to escalate those requests. It can take a while, and I would just suggest that you start that process of getting approved for Facebook payments with Facebook as soon as possible, so that you make sure that you have that all set up and you're ready to go for any future events, fundraising campaigns that you want to do on our platform. The second tip is to add milestones and badges so that you can celebrate your fundraiser's progress towards their fundraising goal. So in addition to all like the challenge, gamification, and interactions that we have, there are also those things on fundraising pages. And I think it's nice to celebrate those things. We recently added that little confetti as an element of gamification around that. And we'll continue to add more features and functionality around that in the future. But milestones, badges are fun. It's nice to show on your fundraisers pages. The third tip is really, really simple. It's a feature that we've had for probably 10 years, but I just want to remind people that including donation levels on your donation page is really important. That's where you have the little boxes with the different amounts to let people pre-select an amount in addition to entering their own custom amount. We recommend that you add a variety of levels, and you can kind of take it a step further by adding branding that's specific to your nonprofit and your mission. You kind of want the amounts to have a wide range and variety. So something from a really small amount, like a $5 or $10 donation, up to the bigger asks of like $250, $500. If it's there, people may click it. So it's better to ask for it. It's a very soft ask. It's not aggressive. So put a variety of levels there. The fourth tip is to set up those automated drip email campaigns to your fundraisers with different coaching tips and updates in your nonprofit. I think it's important that you're giving them content that you want them to share with people, and emails let you kind of consistently like update that to them, and the drip campaigns let you schedule and just let them run. So you're not like having to draft up emails. You kind of sit down, do that at one point in time, and then schedule when you want those to send and let them run. But engaging with your fundraisers with tips, just updates about your nonprofit, is going to make them more successful and make them feel more involved in your nonprofit. So it's a good thing to spend some time setting up. These are my tips for swag. So swag is like a very big component of going virtual. But the first thing is, especially for nonprofits, if you don't have the bandwidth to put a lot of time into a virtual event, just do a free virtual race with donations and fundraising and no swag. We've seen a ton of success around this. You can grow your contact list. You can get some donations. If you have fundraising, you can feature your top fundraisers. It's very low effort on your end, and you can generate some sort of a return. You are not required to have swag. Just don't charge a registration fee, or charge a very small registration fee. The second option, if you want to offer swag, but you don't have the bandwidth to do the fulfillment and shipping within your nonprofit, consider using one of our partners. We have a number of timers and event management companies that do this sort of thing extremely efficiently, and they're professionals at doing it. They will charge a fee, but you're going to make more money because you're going to be able to charge a higher registration price. It can also motivate people who like swag and want to participate in that. I included a link here to a blog where we have a list of different vendors who provide like a full suite of virtual race services. So you're going to get these slides after, so you'll be able to click on that link. It's also linked from our Go Virtual Hub, but you can kind of look at the different industry vendors, reach out to them. They're going to be more than happy to come up with a solution for you. And again, it's going to cost money because they have to charge a fee for the fulfillment and shipping, but you're also going to be able to charge a higher registration fee. You're going to be able to put that into the fee that you're charging your participants to participate, and that's going to make you more money. The third tip is to offer swag that people actually want to wear. Andrew Sigwart just made a really great talk sign up video that's super funny about just creative ideas around giveaways. Also included the link here so you can go check it out, or you can just search for RunSignup on YouTube and you'll come across our videos and you can look at the giveaway suggestions. But you can make your giveaways creative and make sure that it's something that people actually want to wear. Okay, so these are tips for engaging participants when you're doing a virtual race, a virtual run, walk, ride. So the first thing is do allow participants to submit their results, even if you don't have a timed event in the past. We do have that option to let participants indicate that they finished without submitting a time. So it's not like forcing people to be competitive, but I think the whole like submitting results does make the whole experience feel a little bit more real, a little bit more tangible for this virtual event. So I would suggest letting people do that for your virtual race or run, walk, ride. The second tip is to enable the photo uploads. It's a really simple setting that you can turn on in your dashboard or in the wizard when you're setting up a new virtual event. I think it's fun to let people upload their photos and have that be part of the website. That being said, don't forget to do the social media photo part of things. I would create a hashtag, promote it, encourage people to share on social media. You may not get like a trending hashtag or anything, but it's nice to have that social media aspect as well, because people are spending time on, Instagram or whatever they're using. And then the third tip is just that whole example from a wider circles walk to end poverty. Just the idea of extending your virtual event with different activities. So even if you are only having a single event like a 5K and people are only submitting that one single result, you can make it a longer engagement experience with different activities and ideas and competitions that are fun and online. It also like reinforces that community around your supporters. So that can be very beneficial. And like in the case of a wider circles walk to end poverty, resulted in them raising a lot more money for their event than they had in the past. And then finally, I have tips for engaging your participants in a virtual challenge. My first tip is make sure you create a challenge that is connected to your mission. All those examples we saw today, I think there were just like a couple that were, like a 100 or 500-mile challenge. Make it like a collective participant goal, or make it about steps, or make it about minutes of meditation, or, it's got to be some sort of activity that has a connection to your nonprofit. And you also just want to think about your constituents and what sort of activity would make them engaged and excited to do your virtual challenge. My second tip is to spend time creating custom milestones and badges for your virtual challenge. I think it's really fun. Again, Canva makes it easy. All these notifications and gamification in challenges are just opportunities to promote your nonprofit and educate people about what you do. So I think it's a really valuable opportunity to make people better informed about your nonprofit's mission. And the third is really simple, but it's just a reminder that if you're doing a challenge, create a Facebook group for your participants. I've seen I'm part of the Great Virtual Race Across Tennessee. I kind of abandoned that challenge, but the point is they have a really engaged Facebook group, and they've got like thousands of people from all over the world who are commenting and posting things. The other group I always bring up with Facebook groups is Semper Fi in America's Fund. They do such a great job of moderating the Facebook groups that they create for their different challenge participants and their charity bib fundraisers. They do a really good job of interacting with the posts and commenting on them and liking it and creating like discussion and conversation and interaction around the posts. So I think, creating a Facebook group and then being highly engaged with it is really awesome for challenge events. So this is a link to our challenge hub on GiveSignup. So this has a fair amount of content on it, but it provides a lot of different resources if you're considering doing a virtual challenge, or you want to learn more, or if you have one and want to add more elements to it. Here is a tab that has a list of live challenges. So you can actually go to the actual website for some of these nonprofits that are doing challenges and check out, how they've designed their cover page or their messaging around it. The other great thing that Elizabeth added to this are some demo challenges. So again, you can go to our test server and you can use this fake credit card to sign up and test out the challenge platform, like check out what the logging of activities looks like, check out the participant experience from it. So that's really nice if you want to get a better understanding of how participants log their activities in a challenge. I didn't go into the detailed setup guides for this, for how to set up a virtual challenge or virtual event, because we have kind of shorter sessions today. But this hub has extremely detailed guides, and it's for all type of learners. So we have guides that have written instructions with different steps that you can take to set up a virtual challenge on our platform. Matt Sinclair, who's one of our technical account managers, also set up some videos where he's actually setting up a challenge on his computer. And this is really nice if you like a visual. So you can watch this video, you can pause it and kind of do what he's doing on your end. But that's another great way to learn more about this. And we've also added some webinar content from just past webinars that we've done where we've walked through the actual steps of setting up a virtual challenge. So you can check that out as well. And then you can also talk to one of our GiveSignup team members just by filling in a request for a call here, and they will reach out to you and set up a time to answer your specific questions and also brainstorm with you on what a great challenge idea would be for your nonprofit. So I think that is the end of my presentation. So I will take any questions that you guys have now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
We had one person ask if you could show how to add a donation goal thermometer to their cover page.
Yeah, I can show that. I'm gonna go to my virtual my virtual dog challenge. This was my first challenge that I set up on our platform using our new challenge technology. So I think it's a really cute website, although I am a cat person. But what you can do is you can go into the race dashboard and you can search for your cover page. Just type in cover page to this menu. And I like this because I don't know all of the features that we have anymore in the dashboard because there's too many. But if I type what I'm looking for, it will appear. So what you can do, I have a bunch of content here. To add a donation goal, you can click the plus sign if you already have a cover page set up. If you don't have one, you're going to need to add one to add the donation goal. So you just click enable up here and then start adding some content. But to add this donation goal, you're going to click data. And I'm going to call this donation goal thermometer. The labeling just makes it easy to rearrange so that you know what your content sections are. So I always try to make sure that they're labeled very clearly. And then under data type, I'm going to select donation goal thermometer. And then you'll kind of see what it's going to look like on the front end. And then you can add an optional title. So I'm going to do help us reach our goal. And that's not showing. And then the button text, this is going to go to my donation page on my event website. So it's optional, you don't have to include one, but I'm going to add one that says donate now. And then this is just the background, so you can choose what the background color for your thermometer is going to be. So I'm just going to choose that blue one. And then I'm going to drag this up here. Oh, I already had one here. I'll just delete that one. So it's really easy to, you know, move things around, do what you want, bring it up, bring it down, show it wherever you want on here. It's automatically saving. And then I'm going to go out to my website, and then you'll see here, that's our donation goal thermometer. I added manual donations to this. I didn't actually raise this money. And then when you click donate now, that goes to your donation page.
Something that somebody asked me about today, not in this chat, but I got a customer email about this, so I thought maybe we could show it. How could someone embed like a live YouTube video on their website?
Okay, so you have two good options for this. So the first is you can add a new section to your cover page, and you can select a video. And what you can do is you can copy and paste a link from a YouTube video. And I think I saw one that you shared in the chat, Elizabeth, right?
Yeah, I shared Andrew's swag video.
Okay, that's a great one. So what you can do is you can copy and paste any YouTube link, and it's going to automatically pull in like the image from YouTube and stuff. And you can add like a little title that shows on top of that image, but then you can just save it. Oops. So I'm gonna name that giveaway video and save it, and then update here. Oh, I already had a puppy video. That was really cute. But then it's here. And the thing that's really nice on the cover page is it pops out and it keeps people on your page. It doesn't push them to YouTube or anything. And then
everyone,
we can just...
If you don't mind, I'm going to do some laundry here. It's just, you know, everyone working from home now. It's so much easier to multitask.
And we can watch Andrew talk about giveaways and also watch him fold his laundry. So it's super easy to add it that way. The other way that we'll add videos sometimes is going to be on these custom sections. You can embed videos like this. So I'll just quickly show what that looks like. So I'm going to custom sections, and you'll see a bunch of sections here. But if I click into a video setup guide, you'll see here that I've chosen to embed a video. And by I mean whoever created this challenge hub and embedded this video, but you can embed a video on a page like that as well. So if you have a menu item and want to add a video there, and again, same thing, just copy and paste that YouTube URL, and then it's going to show on that page.
Thanks. I don't think we have any more questions. Yeah, if anyone has any like outstanding questions from any of the sessions today, you can email us at info@givesignup.org or info@runsignup.com, and we will get back to you with specific answers to your questions if you have those.
And you can also click on that URL to go to our Challenge Hub. Again, we'll be emailing out resources, recordings, slides from today. But this Challenge Hub is a nice place to find more information and also request a call with one of our GiveSignup team members. Hopefully you've gotten to know some of our team members today. They're super nice people, so they'll be fun to talk to, and challenges are creative, and we're happy to help brainstorm like good ideas that your nonprofit has. So yeah, I think we'll wrap up the session. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you in our town hall session after this.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.